What if I told you there's another you out there, living your life, making your choices, and knowing things only you should know? I never believed in conspiracies, never thought much about the idea of doppelgangers. But the night I saw my own face staring back at me from the screen, everything I thought I knew about the world shattered. It started as a joke. My friends and I were messing around with a facial recognition app, the kind that claims to find your celebrity lookalike. They all got generic matches, some actor, an athlete, even a politician. Then I took my turn. The app scanned my face, but instead of an instant result, the screen flickered. The loading bar froze at 99%. Guess you're too ugly to have a match, Ryan laughed, nudging me. Then the screen cleared. Match found. Ethan Graves. Beneath the name was a photo. My photo. Same sharp jawline, same tired eyes, same scar on my left eyebrow from a childhood bike accident. For a moment, I thought it had pulled a picture from my own gallery, but when I checked my phone, that image wasn't there. I had never taken that picture. Then I saw the word beneath the name. Active. What the hell? I muttered. Who's Ethan Graves? Ryan asked, leaning over. I don't know, I admitted. My voice felt hollow. Something about this didn't feel like a stupid app glitch. It felt intentional. Click on it, Sarah said. Her tone wasn't playful anymore. She felt it too, the wrongness of it. I hesitated, then tapped the profile. The app crashed. I tried reopening it, but it was gone. The icon had disappeared from my phone. Okay, that's seriously creepy, Sarah said, glancing at me. Ryan just laughed. You probably downloaded some sketchy virus, dude. Maybe. Maybe that's all it was. But something in my gut told me this was more than a glitch. That name, Ethan Graves, felt like an echo of something just beyond my memory, like a word on the tip of my tongue that I couldn't quite grasp. I had to know more. Later that night, after my friends left, I sat in my room, staring at my laptop screen. I typed the name into a search engine. Nothing. No social media. No public records. It was like Ethan Graves didn't exist. Then, buried deep in a forgotten forum, I found a single post. Missing person report. Ethan Graves. Last seen 5 years ago. If spotted, do not approach. Do not approach. My pulse quickened. I clicked on the post. One comment. Just one. If you're looking for him, he's already found you. The words on the screen sent a chill through me. If you're looking for him, he's already found you. I stared at the comment, my fingers hovering over the keyboard. I wanted to respond, to ask what it meant, but the post was over 5 years old. The user who left the comment had been inactive since then. But I couldn't ignore it. I copied the missing person's photo, the same face as mine, and ran it through a reverse image search. Nothing. No news articles, no official records, just that single forum post. It made no sense. How could someone who looked exactly like me just not exist? Unless someone had made sure of that. I checked the time. 2:13 a.m. My room was dark except for the pale glow of my screen. The world outside was silent, but inside my chest, my heartbeat pounded like a warning. I went back to the forum post, reading it over again, looking for anything I missed. The missing person report had no details, no family contacts, no last known address, no circumstances of disappearance. Just a name, a face, and that cryptic warning. Then I noticed something strange. The username of the person who posted the missing report, A_1993. Ethan Graves. My stomach twisted. Was it possible he had reported himself missing? Why would someone do that? I clicked on his profile, but it was empty. No other posts, no interactions. Just that single entry, like a message left for someone who was meant to find it. Was that someone me? A sudden sound made me jump. A soft vibration against my desk, my phone. A notification. I grabbed it, expecting a message from Ryan or Sarah, but it wasn't from them. Unknown number. Stop searching. My breath caught in my throat. The message had no sender info, no way to reply. I stared at the screen, my hands suddenly cold. How did they know I was searching? I turned back to my laptop and refreshed the forum page. The missing person post was gone. vanished. My stomach lurched. I clicked back through my search history, tried reopening the link. Error 404, page not found. It was like it had never existed. I pushed back from my desk, my chair scraping against the wooden floor. My skin prickled with something beyond fear, something deeper, something I didn't have a name for. Was someone watching me, tracking what I searched? I reached for my phone again, my fingers unsteady. Another message. Unknown number. This is your own. I sat frozen, my phone still clutched in my hand. The words on the screen felt heavier than they should have. This is your only warning. I wasn't sure what scared me more, the fact that someone knew I was searching for Ethan Graves, or the feeling that I had just stepped over some invisible line I wasn't supposed to cross. But I had to know more. I grabbed my laptop and tried another search. This time I typed, Ethan Graves missing 2018. Nothing. I tried again. Ethan Graves' disappearance. Still nothing. It didn't make sense. I had just seen the post minutes ago. I had seen my own face staring back at me under that name. But now it was gone, like someone had reached into the internet and erased it completely. My chest tightened. I needed something real, something I could hold on to. I opened my phone's photo gallery, scrolling back to the screenshot I had taken of the missing person post. But it wasn't there. I checked again, then again. It was gone. My pulse pounded against my ribs. I knew I had saved it. I remembered doing it, but my phone showed no trace of it, like I had imagined the whole thing. My fingers tightened around the device. No, this wasn't just a bad connection or some weird glitch. Someone had removed it. Someone was watching. I swallowed hard, my mouth dry. My eyes darted to my bedroom window. The curtains were half open, revealing nothing but darkness outside. But suddenly, that darkness felt different, heavier, like something was out there, looking back. I stood up, walking slowly to the window. My own reflection moved with me. I stood frozen by the window, my breath shallow as the black car rolled past my house. It didn't speed up, didn't rush to disappear. It moved at an agonizingly slow pace, as if it wanted me to watch. I strained my eyes, trying to see inside, but the windows were too dark. The street lamp's glow reflected off the glass, making it impossible to tell if someone was staring back at me. Then, just as it reached the end of the street, the car stopped. I took a step back, my pulse hammering in my ears. The brake lights flared red. Then, nothing. It didn't turn, didn't drive away. It just sat there, watching. A cold sweat prickled at my skin. I forced myself to look away from the window and grab my phone. I needed to call someone, Ryan, Sarah, maybe even the police. But when I unlocked my screen, my stomach lurched. The photo I had taken of the car was gone, just like the screenshot of the missing person post. My hands started shaking. This wasn't just paranoia. Someone was inside my phone, inside my searches, erasing anything that led back to Ethan Graves. But why? I turned back to the window. The car was gone. I hadn't heard it leave. I took a slow breath, forcing my mind to steady. Maybe I was in over my head, but I wasn't crazy. I had seen the post. I had seen the car. Someone was watching me, and I needed to know why. I moved back to my desk and pulled my laptop closer. If they had erased the online records, I needed something more concrete. My own past. I opened a new tab and searched my own name. The results popped up immediately: my social media, old school photos, a couple of mentions in local sports articles. Normal things. But then I tried something else. I typed, birth records for Ethan Graves. The page loaded. Then, error 404, file not found. I frowned and refreshed. Same error. I deleted the name and typed my own instead. Birth records for Daniel Parker. The screen flickered. Then, error 404, file not found. My blood turned to ice. I leaned closer, staring at the screen. That had to be a mistake. I checked again and again. But no matter how many times I searched, my own records, my own existence, came back as nothing. Just like Ethan Graves, a wave of dizziness washed over me. No, that wasn't possible. I was here. I was real. But then why did it feel like something was slipping through my fingers? Like I was forgetting something. Or worse, like something was erasing me too. I stared at the screen, my mind struggling to process what I was seeing. No birth record, no history, no proof that I existed at all. I tried again. Daniel Parker School Records. Error 404, file not found. I swallowed hard. This had to be a mistake, a system glitch, but deep down, I knew it wasn't. My fingers moved on their own, clicking through different databases, trying to find something, anything, that proved I was real. But there was nothing. No hospital record, no driver's license registration, no medical history. It was as if I had been wiped clean, like I had never existed at all. A tightness coiled in my chest. I pressed my hands against my temples, trying to steady my breathing. I needed to think, needed to focus. I wasn't imagining this. I had friends, a life, memories. But what if memories weren't enough? What if memories could be changed? A sharp knock at my door made me jump. I spun around, my heart slamming against my ribs. For a second, I just stood there frozen. Then slowly, I moved toward the door. I hesitated, hand hovering over the knob. Another knock, louder this time. I took a breath and pulled the door open. No one was there, but something was. An envelope, plain, white, resting on my doorstep. I stepped outside, glancing up and down the street. Nothing but silence. No sign of who had left it. With shaky hands, I picked up the envelope and tore it open. Inside was a single piece of paper. 5 words. Stop before you forget everything. My breath hitched. This wasn't just a warning. It was a threat. A message from whoever had been watching me. Or worse, from whoever had been erasing me. I backed into my house, locking the door behind me. My mind raced. If they could erase my records, remove my searches, delete my photos, what else could they do? Could they erase my memories too? I turned and caught my reflection in the hallway mirror. For a moment, I swore I saw something else. Not my reflection. Someone else. Someone who looked just like me, but wasn't. I blinked and it was gone. But the feeling remained. A terrible, sinking certainty that I was running out of time. Because if I kept searching for Ethan Graves, I might forget who I was too. I shut my eyes, gripping the edges of the sink. My own reflection stared back at me in the bathroom mirror, but it felt wrong, off. Like I was looking at a stranger. My mind kept circling back to the note. Stop before you forget everything. What did that mean? What was I supposed to forget? A terrible thought crawled into my brain. What if something had already been erased? I looked around my bathroom, scanning every object like I was seeing it for the first time. Toothbrush, towel, bottle of aftershave. All familiar, all mine. But were they? I reached for my phone and opened my contacts. Ryan, Sarah, Mom. I exhaled. At least some things hadn't changed. But then, out of nowhere, a name appeared in my mind. Ethan Graves. I swallowed hard and typed it into my contacts. No results. Of course, I knew I had never saved his number. But then why did I feel like I should have? Like I used to know him? A wave of dizziness hit me, and I stumbled back against the wall. This wasn't just about finding Ethan Graves. This was about remembering him. And someone was making sure I didn't. A sudden buzz made me jump. My phone vibrated in my hand. Unknown number. I hesitated, then answered. Hello? Silence. But not empty silence. There was breathing. Slow, steady. Someone was on the other end, listening. My fingers tightened around the phone. Who is this? More silence. Then, just as I was about to hang up, a voice. Whispering. You have to run. My blood went cold. Who are you? I demanded. They're already coming. The line went dead. I stood there, heart pounding, gripping the phone like it might disappear from my hand. Run. The word echoed in my skull, but my legs wouldn't move. Where would I go? Who would I even run from? Then, a noise. Outside. Footsteps on my front porch. I turned toward the door, pulse hammering. A shadow passed by the window. Someone was here. Someone who didn't want me asking questions. I took a slow step back. If I didn't run now, I might never get the chance. I didn't move. I barely breathed. The footsteps outside stopped. Whoever was out there knew I was inside. I took a slow step back, my socked feet silent against the floor. The air in my house felt heavier now, like the walls were closing in. Then, a soft knock. Not loud, not urgent, but careful, deliberate. I gripped my phone tighter. I should call someone. The police, Ryan, anyone. But something inside me whispered that it wouldn't matter. Whoever had erased Ethan Graves, whoever had wiped my records, they would be stopped by that phone call. Another knock, this time firmer. I swallowed hard, my mind racing. If I stayed, I was trapped. If I ran, I had a chance. I made my choice. Moving fast, I grabbed my hoodie from the chair and shoved my phone into my pocket. Then, as silently as possible, I crept toward the back door. The front door rattled, the handle twisted. They were trying to get in. I didn't wait to see if they succeeded. I yanked open the back door and bolted into the night. The disappearing town, the cold air hit me like a slap. I sprinted across the yard, my breath sharp in my chest. I didn't know where I was going. All I knew was that I had to get away. I reached the street and turned right, heading toward downtown. The sidewalks were mostly empty, the streetlights humming softly in the quiet. But something was wrong. The further I ran, the more empty everything felt. The town wasn't usually this quiet, even at night. Where were the cars, the distant sounds of life? It was like the whole world had pressed mute. My pace slowed as I reached Main Street. Dark windows, silent buildings. It felt abandoned. But that wasn't possible. I had been here just hours ago. I turned in a slow circle, heart pounding. Then I saw it, a streetlight, flickering. And beneath it, someone standing perfectly still, watching me. I couldn't see their face, but I didn't need to. Every instinct screamed at me to run. But before I could move, my phone buzzed in my pocket. I fumbled it out with shaking hands. Another message. Unknown number, you're almost there. Almost where? I looked back up. The figure under the streetlight was gone. But I wasn't alone. Shadows moved between the buildings, slipping through the darkness, closing in. I backed away, my pulse thundering. Then, out of the corner of my eye, a neon sign. One of the only lights still on. Midnight Motel. I didn't think. I ran straight for it. Whatever was happening, whatever I was caught in, I had a feeling the answers were waiting for me inside. The neon sign buzzed faintly above me, casting a sickly red glow over the cracked pavement. Midnight Motel. The only sign of life in this entire, eerily silent town. I hesitated for just a second. Then I pushed through the glass door. Inside, the air was thick with the scent of old carpet and something chemical, like cleaning supplies that never quite did their job. A bell jingled as the door shut behind me. At the front desk sat a man. He didn't look up. His fingers tapped against an ancient keyboard, the glow from the monitor reflecting in his unreadable eyes. I swallowed hard and stepped closer. I need a room, I said, my voice too loud in the quiet lobby. He finally looked at me then. For a split second, something flickered across his face. Recognition. But it was gone too fast to be sure. He slid a paper across the desk without a word. No questions, no request for an ID, just a blank space for my name. My hand shook as I picked up the pen. I hesitated. What was I supposed to write? Daniel Parker? Or Ethan Graves? My throat tightened. I scribbled Daniel Parker and slid the form back. The man barely glanced at it. He reached under the desk and handed me a key. Room 108. I took it and turned toward the hallway, my pulse hammering. I had no idea what I was walking into, but something told me I was about to find out. The hallway was dimly lit, stretching out in both directions like a tunnel. I walked slowly, my fingers tight around the key. The carpet beneath my feet muffled every step. Door after door passed by me, all identical. No sound came from behind them. It was like I was the only one here. When I reached room 108, I hesitated. Something about this door felt heavier, like it wasn't just a door but a boundary. On the other side, answers or something worse. My breath shuddered as I slid the key into the lock. The knob turned too easily, like someone had been expecting me. I stepped inside. The mirror. The air was stale, like no one had been here in a long time. A single lamp glowed beside the bed, casting weak light over the room. But I barely noticed any of it, because the first thing I saw was the mirror, floor length, mounted on the far wall. And in it, someone stood behind me. I spun around. Nothing. Just empty space. But when I turned back to the mirror, he was still there. Same face, same eyes. But I knew with a deep, crawling certainty, he wasn't me. My pulse slammed in my ears. The reflection tilted its head. Then, in a voice that scraped against the walls of my skull, "You're late." My body locked up. The reflection, my reflection, stood motionless in the mirror, watching me. But it wasn't me. Something about the eyes, too sharp, too knowing. My breath hitched. "Who are you?" The reflection smiled. A slow, deliberate smile. "You already know." The voice scraped through my skull like nails against glass. I swallowed hard, stepping back. My hands were trembling. This isn't real," I muttered. The reflection tilted its head, mirroring my movement perfectly. "Isn't it?" I turned, glancing around the room, searching for something, anything, that made sense. But everything was too quiet, too still, like the motel was holding its breath. I turned back to the mirror. My reflection had moved, but now something else was there. Words. Faint at first, then darkening across the glass, as if written by an unseen hand. "Ethan Graves is dead." My chest tightened. I shook my head. "No, that's not true." "Isn't it?" the reflection whispered. I gritted my teeth. "Then why do I remember him?" The reflection's smile faded. "Then, do you?" The words blurred across the mirror like ink in water. My breath caught. A terrible, sinking sensation twisted inside me, because suddenly I wasn't sure. The memories, Ethan's face, the missing person post, the name, they felt distant, blurry, like a dream slipping away after waking. I squeezed my eyes shut, panic rising. "No, I remember. I saw his face. He looked just like me." The reflection didn't move. "Maybe he was you." A cold wave of nausea crashed over me. I shook my head violently. "No, that doesn't make sense. I'm Daniel Parker." "Are you?" The reflection raised a hand. My hand. But I hadn't moved. My stomach clenched. "Stop." It didn't. It reached toward the glass, toward me, fingers pressing against the surface. The glass rippled like water. The reflection's hand pushed through. And suddenly, everything inside me screamed, "Run." I stumbled back as the hand emerged from the mirror. It wasn't just glass anymore. It was something else. Something shifting, rippling like liquid, stretching out toward me. The fingers, my fingers, curled slightly, reaching. "Come closer," the reflection whispered. Its voice was calm, patient. But underneath, I heard something else. Something hungry. I shook my head, my entire body screaming to run. But I couldn't move. Because deep inside, a sick, terrifying thought was growing. What if I was never supposed to run? What if this was where I belonged? My mind swirled. I tried to hold on to my memories, my name, myself. But the more I fought, the more I felt it slipping. Daniel Parker, Ethan Graves. 2 names, 2 lives. But only one could exist. "You feel it, don't you?" The reflection whispered. "You've always felt it." The words slithered into my skull, unlocking something. Flashes of memory. A hospital. A man standing over me. A voice saying, "It won't last much longer." My pulse hammered. What did they do to me? The reflection smiled. "They try to separate us. But some things can't be separated." The words hit me like a shockwave. It wasn't just a name that had been erased. It was a person. Me. or the other me. I staggered back, shaking. No, this isn't real. The reflection stepped forward, and suddenly I felt something pulling me toward the mirror. The surface rippled, widening like an open mouth. "Come back," it whispered. "It's time to remember." My feet slid forward. I tried to fight it, but deep inside, I already knew the truth. There was never another me. There was only ever one, and I had been running from him all along. The last thing I saw before the mirror swallowed me was my own face, smiling, as if I had finally come home.